So we did the first 2 episodes of this series, and it seems that people commented that this series is pretty interesting. So we'll continue it, obviously, as well here. Yeah. The last episode, we have seen the rise of the Tyrantian Empire and the fall of certain civilizations. And those civilizations have fallen so far, but yep, the desert nomads were the most recent civilization to be created, and elements in the Gigantian universe has been created. As well here. Here. The Gigantians now created some Timorians have created a new civilization right on this large island. As well here. Here. A new civilization was created around 200 years after the descendant nomads. The Kirai were created. Another civilization has been created, and they are basically the same as the Timorians as well here. Yeah. However, the first legendary Gigantian appeared. It is a Gigantian that can master most elements. Air, grass, ice, which also water is a part of ice, electricity, and of course earth as well, which is from the desert nomads. He is born in the El Gigantian Temple as well here. And they quickly learn that he can learn all of the elements, which is fire, water, which also includes ice, as well here, grass element, electricity, and of course earth as well. So these are all of the main elements as well here. And also air as well. He can also master air. All of the main elements of the Gigantian magical system as well here. And basically, he can master all of the elemental systems as well here. He travels throughout the world. However, the Americans do not like the idea of this. They do not like this idea as well here. So the king of the Americans decided to create a second colony to rule the new Gigantian apostles here. And this, of course, the American colony was created as well here. So the American colony was created 5 years after the creation of Kirai as well here. Because Kirai was created as a country 5 years after, here. So the American colony was created as well here. And the leader, the special Gigantian, was grabbed here, and the American leader assassinates him. Of course, since most of the Gigantian nations do not really know of this, a new one was born in the Omos as well here. However, these countries over here do not really know much about what's happening on the other side of the world, as this part of the world is kind of isolated. The Tyrantian Empire, the first Tyrantian Empire, will expand all the way north to this northern area as well here. The new Tyrantian king will conquer the northern areas. This was a very troublesome area, as some of the Gigantians had much resistance against it, because this was a more mountainous area over here compared to down here as well here. They wanted to conquer up here first as well here, was being to control one of the most vital trading areas in this area, was through this little island right here. The Tyrantians now control this as well here. However, the old king died around in 75, 8275. So basically, the two sons wanted to here. First is the main branch of the Tyrantians as well here. The first son will be the main branch of the Tyrantians. These Tyrantians want to, do something else. Meanwhile, the other branch is a more peaceful version. However, the main branch kills the peaceful branch son as well. Kills the peaceful branch son right when his 2 kids are born. Both of the peaceful branch Tyrantians go somewhere else. The main branch of the Tyrantians, which are very aggressive and less spiritual, move elsewhere. Meanwhile, the peaceful branch was rescued by somebody as well here. Some people who believed, some of the Gigantian monks who believed in peace, created a new nation right around here. This new nation is Fornia. Yeah. Fornia was created to basically make a more peaceful Tyrantian existence as well here. Yeah. Then they did not like the idea of the Tyrantians becoming power hungry as well here. Fornia was created with the capital city being on the coastline as well here. Yeah. Yeah. And both happened in 1 year. The Tyrantian ruler realizes that, yeah, yeah, in 8275 BC as well here, Fornia was created. The Tyrantian Empire now set its sight on the south as well here. The Tyrantian Empire will expand past its already established borders, creating a massive wave here. However, the gigantian that mastered all elements has mastered all elements, and Omos and Navi declare war. The Tyrantian Empire raced to the Omos. This is one of the oldest civilizations in the world as well here. And the Tyrantian Empire conquers and takes out the Omos as well here. The Omos is now starting to be completely genocided, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, by the Tyrantians as well here. The Tyrantians are power hungry and don't care as well here. The Omos civilization is destroyed as well here, and the Omos are completely eradicated as well here. So the Omos was eradicated in 8270. Right after the Tyrantian 8250, right after the Tyrantian schism. However, the current Tyrantian king died after the conquest of the Omos. He was planning to also invade the Navi as well here. However, the Tyrantian king has 3 sons, and all 3 sons want power over the Tyrantian Empire. The Tyrantian Empire is going to fracture into 3 parts here. First is the first son as well here, and then the second son right here. We're also going to put this on a separate layer as well here. So the first son will have this land. This is the Tyrantian Warring States period. So will rally behind the second son, which will control this land right here. And the rest will rally behind the last son, the oldest and most wisest son, as well here. Yeah, this is one of the biggest civil wars. This is the Warring State Tyrantian period as well here. Also, a rebel faction, or as known as the Northern Tyrantians, will also be created. Of the original race of this area will also be created. Also, the Warring Tyrantians will also take over this land here, as well here, the Northern Tyrantian Empire, as well here. And basically, the Warring States period of the Tyrantians will begin. Right after the eradication of the Omos as well here. However, a few Omos do survive and flee into the more rugged terrain as well here. However, the original Omos civilization is dead, and a new civilization is created around here. The Fizzer, which are not the Omos, as they are a different culture as well here, but they're still very peaceful as well here, and was created around the same time the Warring States has started in the Tyrantian period. 2 years after the Warring States has started. The Phanarians see this happen, and the most peaceful Phanarians finally decided to get behind agriculture and create a capital city as well here. There is a hopefully divert trade from the Tyrantians as well here. The Na'vi have no such luck, as they have to kind of navigate around the Tyrantians because they don't know how to navigate around the massive continent just yet. That is much bigger than all of Earth's than even Asia, which is Earth's largest continent currently as of now. Yeah. The Tyrantian Warring States period begins. The northern tribes will continue to conquer this land as well here. Yeah. The southern tribe, which is the southern sun, will start to conquer some of the lesser known cities here. Some of the lesser known towns here. Also, there's no capital city in the Tyrantian Empire anymore. Yeah. Considering the fact that the Tyrantians are kind of a nationless people as well here. So yeah. The oldest son, the youngest son, was the one that has all of the power, tries to hold on as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah. He pushes back as well here. And the oldest son, yeah, also gonna keep this. Yeah, and this is kind of what the Warring States period looks like as of now. Yeah, and basically this is gonna be a civil war. That will last a long time. As now these warring states will now become their own nations as well here. The Warring States period continues on as these nations are at war with each other. So now we're gonna create the new nations as well here. Yeah. The borders will look like this as well here. Yeah. Yeah, this is what the warring states look like as well here. Yeah, and basically they will start invading each other immediately. These countries have no names, it's just the name of the Tyrantian sun, the sun's dynasties, basically. And now we will be seeing an intense warfare as well here. Thousands will die, and the Tyrantian population actually actually stagnates for decades at this point because of the Warring States period, because no one is really winning at this current moment. However, there is a loser, and that's the blue team. The blue team is doing very poorly in this war as well here. But all of the warlords of the Tyrantians continue on as well here. And the establishment of the four current Tyrantian nations, continue as well here. Here. The Na'vi, which are mostly a peaceful gigantian species, are now starting to realize they may have to militarize to gain more power as well here. As the special gigantian, known as the Great Spiritual Advisor, advises the Na'vi and any nation surrounding the Tyrantians to militarize as well here. The Na'vi do exactly that, and a capital city was created. The Phanarians and Pariza also create a militarized area. They'll also now start to expand significantly as well here, as Frisia and the Phanarians do not want their civilizations to be eradicated. So the Frisia will expand significantly outside of Phoenicia as well here. Yeah, expanding their range significantly as well here. Yeah. The Phanarians will also expand significantly outside of their reigns, not try to conquer the Tyrantian kingdom, taking the Tyrantian kingdom's land, as they know it will be an act of war as well here. But they will conquer a lot of land surrounding them as well here, meeting up with their neighbors to the south as well here. Oh wait, to the south as well here, as they know the Tyrantians are too preoccupied with conquering each other as well here. Yeah, and the Phanarians create a border with their southern neighbors as well here. Both countries do not create a alliance with each other. Yeah, and basically they create a great alliance with each other as well here in this warring states period as well here, because they don't want the Tyrantians to basically take notice that there's an alliance between them and the Navi as well here. The Navi will also expand further northward as well here, cutting off basically the Tyrantians from expanding from the panhandle, from the peninsula, not panhandle, peninsula as well here. And the Navi will take all of this land right here to prevent the Tyrantians from moving outside of the panhandle as well here. Meanwhile, the Tyrantian civil war continues as well here. It is now 8200, and the first Tyrantian son starts a massive expansion therehead toward the capital as well here. They were not really doing too well as the other Tyrantians pushed them back. However, a great actually it's 8235. And these Tyrantians push them back significantly as well here. Yeah. And yeah, there we go about this video here. And yeah, this is the significant expansion from part 2 as well here, establishing a new civil war part to the Tyrantians as well here, and the collapse of the Tyrantian Empire as well here. Goodbye.